Final Destination.
All skills on.
No odd job.
Slappers only.
Thy next foe is, in the recording studio, Max and Jordan await. What track will win on top?
Win on top? What the fuck am I saying? I have the list of all of the Dorman quotes, and I'm like trying to put something vaguely poetic together. The Slappers only. Welcome. I'm Max.
I'm Jordan. Hey, we're not talking about Donkey Kong Country.
No, Jordan's computer said no more monkey for you.
It said the joke was too soon and that we'll have to do it another time, which is a shame because I liked that episode. We talked about Yes a little bit. We talked about minis.
We did everything we could to talk about the gameplay.
We tried. We liked it, actually. I liked it a lot. But unfortunately, that episode's in hell. Mm-hmm. And instead, we are doing what I was going to bring for the next week, which was a game that I can't believe I didn't think to bring earlier, which is Shadow of the Colossus. Hey, Max, this is the best game ever made.
This is a perfect game.
This is, I have always said, this is the best video game of all time. And that doesn't mean it's my favorite game, but I think it's the best game. I don't think anyone's ever made a better game than this one.
I think from an objective standpoint, you're absolutely right.
But I have something for you, Max, because I was curious, because I think, you look it up, you see the critics' takes, you see, if you go on Wikipedia, it'll say Shadow of the Colossus, one of the best games of all time. So, the encyclopedia website recognizes it. I want you, we were playing Monster Hunter today, and I said I had something that might make you mad. Before we really go in detail on this game and this really wonderful game that is just really, really, really special. I want you to take a guess on, I have pulled up IGN's top 100 games of all time. I want you to guess where Shadow of the Colossus falls on those. It is on the list. Okay,
all right, because I was going to say it's not on the list.
It is on the list. I want you to give me a number.
I'm going to guess 86.
Oh, that would be something, wouldn't it, Max? The 86 is actually SimCity 2000. Guess a little higher. They gave it a little more respect than that.
Let's go. I'm gonna give it a 58.
58? 58 is actually, according to IGN, that is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. So better than Grand Theft Auto, better than that. It was still, that's still a little bit better.
Okay, all right.
Try moving up a couple tens digits.
Sure. 37.
Oh, close. 37 is actually Final Fantasy 6. So that's Final Fantasy 6. I'll move down. We're talking 31. Shadow of the Colossus. Better than Resident Evil 4 and Bloodborne, but worse than The Witcher 3. Worse than The Last of Us. Worse than Grand Theft Auto 5, which is the 11th best game ever made.
11?
11. Worse than Breath of the Wild. Worse than worse than Tetris.
Well, that one's fine. I'm okay with that.
The number one best game of all time, according to IGN.
I know what it is. What is it?
You know, what is it?
It's Ocarina, isn't it?
No. Ocarina is actually relatively high up on this list. It's actually 25. So I do respect IGN for that take. I think that's about where it sits in my book. No, the best game of all time is Super Mario World. Oh boy, God. IGN. Portal 2 is the third greatest game ever made.
Now that's fine. That's a good choice. Most other things, I don't know. How I feel about that one, Jordan.
I know. It's IGN. I can't get mad. It's IGN. 31 though for Shadow of the Colossus.
31.
31. I still think it's number one to me. But that's if you're having to debate, our constant argument of influential versus good on its own. And I think this game is good on its own, and probably also influential, but I don't know what was directly influenced by it.
It just is like one of those sort of monoliths that kind of stands on its own, like separate from a lot of comparison, because I can't really think of many games that are like Shadow of the Colossus, No,
it's really... See, okay, so for people who have maybe not played it, and it's accessible, You have a couple options if you want to play
pretty
this game.
accessible, I'd say, yeah.
I think you should play this game. I think even in 2021, I think it holds up really well. Even
Absolutely.
playing it on the PlayStation 2, it holds up really well. The game has a really nice graphics. The art style of the game is very intentionally kind of muddy in a way that makes it look really nice, even playing it now. But it was a PlayStation 2 game developed by Team Ico, or Ico. I'm never
Ico.
really... Ico, created by Fumito Ueda, yeah?
Yep.
And I can't remember when was it released? It was released in...
2005?
2005?
It was released in 2005. Got it on the money.
2005, there you go. Awesome. This is a game about fighting giant monsters by climbing on them.
Righteously fighting, I might add.
Righteously, doing it for a purpose.
Yes.
Doing it and climbing, and the combat amounts to figuring out how to climb onto the monster to access their big glowing weak point, which you plunge your sword into maybe 3 to 4 to 5 times until the monster dies.
Yeah.
And simple as that. The real challenge is to A, climb the monster, and B, to just find the monster. Because the other portion,
I would say Shadow of the Colossus is a puzzle platformer.
I would agree. I think that's basically what it is.
If you're boiling it down to its bare essentials.
It's divided into 2 segments. First, you ride through a beautiful yet empty map, completely devoid of content. There's
desolate
nothing.
And barren. All there is some birds and some lizards.
Yeah, there's some collectible health upgrades and some stamina upgrades.
Some fruits.
And it's very pretty.
Very pretty.
Very pretty map, but very lonely. All you have for company is a horse named Agro.
Agro.
Your character is Wanda. How do you feel about the Japanese name of this game, Wanda and the Colossus?
I love that episode of Fairly Odd Parents.
I actually had a note that had they not, this joke sucks. Had they not developed The Last Guardian, the next game, they were actually going to make a sequel, which is confusing based on how the game ends. But they were going to make a sequel called Shadow of the Colossus 2: Wanda Down Under, where he goes to Australia.
Okay.
Anyways, the point
you gotta
is
fight a big drop bear, fight a big spider,
fight a big koala, fight a big box jellyfish. You know how it is. Anyways, the point is that this is a game that intercuts silence and bombast, spectacle and loneliness. It is a game that has never been matched in term. Like it's just its own thing. I like when you said that it's just nothing can really compare to it.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind
of its own.
I think that's kind of Team Ico's whole thing, is that they don't really make traditional games. They're very minimalist. They're very kind of, they're driven more by the way that the players sort of emotionally engage with the mechanics, right? Like, I think Shadow of the Colossus is probably their most video gamey game, seeing as how they introduce, like, time attack and speed runs and stuff after you beat the game.
Pretty hard speed runs, I might add.
Yeah, they're quite impressive. But really what it's about is the emotions and the sort of the feelings you get as you climb and ride and experience the story as you slay the 16 Colossi. Max, who's your favorite Colossi? And we should say, for people who are not familiar, the Colossi are obviously some of them are not actually that big, but most of them are big stone and moss monsters. They do not have actual names, so the fans kind of agreed on names to give them, but they usually are just called by like their number, I guess, or what they look like.
My favorite,
like the most?
My favorite is Colossus number 7. Hydrus, which is that cool sort of electric eel guy you fight in the lake.
You gotta go underwater.
You gotta hold on to him as he dips and dives underwater.
I really love Gaius, the big knight one, the one with the big sword.
Great big sword.
I just think that's such a cool concept. Because whenever I play a game where I fight like Monster Hunter, I've been saying how much I want a monster that's just a really large dude.
Yeah, just a guy.
You have to fight. That's kind of what Goss Harag is, where you fight.
Goss Hog is nearly there, but not quite.
Yeah, he's got like swords and shields, but I like fighting the big one with the sword. I also really, really like dirge just because of how fucked up it looks. The big eyeball boy, eyeball.
Yeah,
smoke.
that one's freaky. That's a very scary fight. Those eyes like kind of leering at you when it comes from under the sand.
Couple other details about this. The plot of this game. Well, it's quite an old game, so we'll probably dip into the ending of it. But the whole point is that there's a young woman who has died. Your character is Wander. He brings her to this desolate land to commune with a godlike being called Dorman, who basically says, go kill 16 monsters and I'll bring her back to life. But who knows, maybe this is not all that it seems.
You're doing the right thing, absolutely. No one could blame you for this.
When you are
in the moral right for all of his actions.
When you kill the big horse that's just minding its own business and it falls over and dies and it wasn't doing anything, you feel really good about it, personally.
I mean, I do feel good about it because of the horse, but I digress.
Well, okay, but when you kill the big bird, or the big snake, or the big dog.
Like the Rayquaza.
The one that's just a guy. It's just a guy with a beard.
A lot of them are just a guy.
And he's like, no, why? Yeah, it's just a really, really good game. And the other thing about it is that it's fun to play.
It's very fun to play.
That's the other thing about, like, this isn't a game that's just like, Spec Ops The Line has a lot to say and it makes you feel bad when you play it, but also you're just playing this really not fun shooter the whole time. It's fun to fight the monster. Like, it's fun to climb. It's fun to solve the puzzle. I never quite remember how you're supposed to do it for all of them, so whenever I replayed this game, I always am still not, like, 100% remembering how to do it, so it is still, kind of a fun puzzle for it. There's usually just like one trick that's the thing you have to do to mount it, and then you have to navigate the actual body of it as you climb. So it's just a really entertaining experience. There's a lot of good stuff that just makes the game feel pretty good. I really like the physics of it.
They're very like loose, Yeah. I think the way they're very deliberately designed that like you never fully feel like you're in control of Wander. Like,
no.
A lot of what obviously you control him, but, like, he moves in this very almost, like, dreamlike way where you really have to kind of be on the ball to know how you're going to get flung around, and I think that really works in the game theory because it turns, like, movement itself into, like, a meta game.
Yeah, that was actually when, and I think we might talk a little bit about Last Guardian today, because, I mean, the thing about Last Guardian is that it does a lot of things similar to Shadow of the Colossus, but it didn't get as much love from people as this game did. But people criticize that game because of the way that the boy moves. And he moves just like Wander does, so it's very physicsy. His kind of, it's kind of hard to control. His body kind of flails around a lot as you climb and throw him around. Which is just like how Wander moves, but maybe that's just an issue of, game design kind of sensibilities as they change over the years and how much control they want you to have. But I really think it works for this game because as the Colossi kind of thrash around and try to shake you off or grab you, it just feels very, like, real, I guess. Like, the way that it adds a really good sense of scale when the Colossi either, step and it shakes so hard that your character falls over, or
you're like bumbling around as they just walk near you. Like, you get, like, they feel like gigantic, real creatures. It's very, very cool the way they've, like, so meticulously programmed everything.
Yeah, it also just, it really is impressive that this game came out when it did, I think. Not just the look of it, but the animations, the sound, the music especially, the score. It just feels way ahead of its time, but also it feels like it's really of its time, which is impressive. Like I don't know. I don't know how this game happened, I guess. It's kind of a mystery.
I'm glad it did, though.
It really did. The music of this game was composed by Ko Otani. What else has Otani worked on? Because I actually don't know.
So Ko Otani, actually, some things I'm into. So he's done a lot of stuff. Very prolific Japanese musician. So he's done some films. First of all, he did a lot of Gamera films, and he did a Godzilla film.
See, that's the thing I was gonna say. I was gonna bring up that the score of this game, or the soundtrack. I say score. It is a video game.
It is a video game.
It is a video
right.
game. It is a soundtrack. Has some very clear, from the kaiju films that I've seen. It's not really my bag, but my partner quite enjoys kaiju movies, so I hear the music a lot, and there's so much clear influence from that kind of music. The musical ideas that are, big monster music, right? Big tympanic drums and low horns and stuff to create this scale. The fact that this composer did work on kaiju films makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. It's cool. And he also, this one's more for me, he did a soundtrack for Gundam Wing.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah.
This guy really gets around then.
I know, he's done a lot. He's been doing anime since 1987, and he's still doing anime now at a lesser pace, but he's still at it. The man's still putting in work. It's pretty cool.
Did you know that this soundtrack has its own special name? It's called,
I believe it's called Roar
of the Earth. Yes,
yeah.
Which is fucking sick.
Very cool.
Other things before we get into the music, I learned at some point that when they originally created this game, they wanted something like 64 colossi.
Yeah.
And then they pared it down to 32 colossi, and then they eventually settled on 16, which, honestly, thank God. 16 is really kind of the perfect number, I think.
Not
it
too
doesn't
many,
overstay
not
its
too few.
welcome. I think it's enough that they can get all of their ideas out. They're all very unique. There's some that I think some colossi are not perfect. I think there's some that are a little bit compared to others, but they're all, as a whole, very, very effective. And I can't imagine this game being twice or, 4 times as long. Absolutely impossible to imagine. Do you want to talk about the music?
I'd love to talk about the music, Jordan.
All right. Who started during Donkey Kong?
If we're going off the last list, I think
you
went first last. You went first last time, so I went first during Donkey Kong.
So do we respect the existence of the Donkey Kong episode and I start, or do you want to start again? I guess I'll start again, because to us that episode is real because we recorded it.
It's real, mostly, in our hearts.
All right, so what I want to say about this game is that going into it, even though I'm very familiar with the music of it because I played it a bunch,
yes.
There was a concern of mine that the fact is that there is basically music that plays besides some cutscenes. There's only one thing that is happening when music is playing, which is you're fighting a big monster.
Yes.
So my concern was how many different ways can this soundtrack represent fighting a big monster musically? And the second I started listening to it, to take notes on it,
was fine.
The answer is, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, they did it.
So we will only be really mostly talking about monster music. But what I wanted to talk about first is one that I think kind of sets itself apart a lot in terms of how frantic it is. This is a song that I think of playing when you are fighting a big lizard in a Colosseum-style arena.
Mm-hmm.
So that one is called Liberated Guardian. So what I like about this one is where some songs try to be very spacious and grand, this one is a lot more energetic. It has a lot more tension to it. The sort of backdrop of the song is these dissonant, steady piano notes, emphasized by these very heavy hits of the orchestra. A part that always stands out to me that I remember very distinctly from playing this game as a kid is these crazy 16th note triplets played on the horn.
Yeah.
It's very cool. And I also will say that one of the great things this game does is when you get on the Colossus, the music usually changes. For this one, the mounting music is quite similar to the actual track. It's only moderately different, but I think what I really enjoy about this one is that it's just a lot more
it's like I feel like that fight specifically of the which one was it? I'm trying to like my best to remember all of them. Kuramori?
Yeah, I think that's it. That's the big lizard that shoots poison at you or electricity.
It's like electricity.
Yeah.
Or no. The big is a different one. I think does he do?
No, that's Kuramori is the one that shoots.
Yeah, Kuramori's poison.
Yeah, and he shoots that like yellow zappy dust at you or something. And as you're kind of running through the Colosseum windows and trying to get around and find it's quite frantic and it really puts you more on the defense than a lot of other Colossi because you're really trying to stay hidden.
You feel like a mouse being hunted a little bit. Yeah,
even though this one isn't particularly big, this was one that I always died to when I first played the game, just because I wasn't really. It's easy to get caught up and trapped in the poison. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's what I really like about it is that it's a lot more frantic and sort of chaotic than a lot of the other ones. Yeah, if that makes sense.
No, the little guys are definitely a different kind of fight because the big guys are slow and deliberate and don't really move that much, but the little guys are like a lot quicker. They zig and zag a lot.
They fight you more actively than a lot of the other ones. Because there's some Colossi that literally do not even acknowledge their own existence.
They just vibe.
The technically the biggest, or I think the longest Colossi in the game is the big flying snake. That one does not...
13. That
one I don't even think can hit you in any way. Like, it cannot damage you at all. Yeah. It's just up in the sky. But when they're smaller, the bull or the like Cerberus kind of one or the big lizard, they very much go for you.
Very aggro.
A lot. So, aggro. You see, I get it. So I don't know. I think it reflects that really well.
It does. No, it's very frantic. It's very, very energetic. I always like fighting, Kuramori, where like you knock him down, you hit him in the tumby, and he falls into the floor of the Colosseum. And like, if you're good, you
just jump right on him.
You jump right on him, and then you're able to grab him. You don't take fall damage. You just like fucking start stabbing that fool.
Oh yeah, it rules.
And you're a good person for stabbing him because you're righteous.
You're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing.
You're doing the right thing.
What do you got for your first pick, Max?
First pick, Jordan. So when it's one of those things where it's one of those not sense memory but music memory. When you start the game. When I think of the game, rather, there's always a couple songs that really stick out, and one of the first ones, or rather the very first one you hear, is a track called Prologue. This is the beginning of the game. It starts out, you hear like sort of like this like weird string arpeggio coming in. You have not a string. No, I was reading your own notes. I think it's a mandolin in this one is the main sort of instrument here. I could be wrong because I don't know my instruments that well, but you get organ and choir. It feels like the beginning of a Zelda game.
Yeah, I think this game kind of evokes that sense on purpose. I always felt
absolutely it does.
And I think this game is very good about kind of tactfully using, just in the right places, kind of evoking that sacred music, the organ, the chimes, the choir. It's not doing it all the time when it could be doing it all the time. It uses it, mainly for more quiet moments, but there are parts in the Colossi battles, more towards the second half of the game, that put those sounds in a lot more. As you kind of start to piece together, what's probably going to happen when you drop the last Colossus.
Yeah, everything's gonna be fine. You're gonna win.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, your girlfriend, friend, mother, whomever will be alive and normal. I don't think do they ever say like what relation she has to you?
No, the story keeps it very open.
This is very vague, yeah. But yeah, it's like there's something very mysterious about this prologue track, which, obviously is very intentional because this is the kind of game where it's supposed to be mysterious and sort of that feeling of adventure, but it has this very sort of uneasiness to it, which I really, really like, that did such a good way to get you introduced to it, because it's this very beautiful track, but at the same time you're like, I don't know, you're kind of off-put by it, with like just like the little bit of organ and choir you hear, that I think it's just a very, very good way to start the game when you sort of get that opening cinematic cutscene. I don't know.
Yeah, I really like the spaciousness of this in a game where so much of the music is just loud, grand, big monster fighty, stompy, smashy.
It's quiet.
To start the game with, you hear there's no overworld music. There's no anything like that. So this is basically the only time you get to see any shots. And if I remember correctly, the prologue is just these shots of Wander riding the horse to the big temple.
You're just on your way in.
Shots of the landscape as you go. So it works very nicely to set up the worlds, to set up the kind of tone. It's very nice.
Yeah, it's called a prologue, and you know what? Does a good job of that.
It's
Gotta hand it to 'em.
They call it prologue because you prologue in hot food out of prologue eat food. So
damn, they weren't lying. That prologue sure can prologue. What do you got, Jordan? Give me that second pick.
Let me bring the heavy hitter in here.
Yeah, let's do it.
One of those songs that you think of Shadow of the Colossus. I think there's maybe 2 tracks that everyone thinks of.
I think I might be thinking of the same tracks as you, Jordan.
So there's 2, and one of them's an honorable mention, and one of them's the one that it's just up to each individual person which one comes to mind.
Sure.
But mine is going to be Revived Power.
Same slap.
All right. The other one that everyone thinks of is the Opened Way, which is very similar. But this is the track that plays when you mount some of the early Colossi.
The second one.
The second one, yeah.
The cow on the
big
beach.
cow. It is very different than a lot of the other music, but I think it's important that it's found so early in the game. You know, while you're still kind of caught up in the fun of it all.
It feels triumphant because you think it's still triumphant this early on.
It's very, it dips into kind of these major keys and brightness. It's very triumphant. There's these, the soaring woodwind sounds, the very loud and frequent cymbal clangings. I just very much enjoy the feel of it, and especially because once again, it's so early in the game, you're allowed to kind of get lost in the fun of it, as you have yet to see the consequences of your actions play out before you. And I don't know, it really evokes a lot of like fantasy music. There's a part in it that very much has Lord of the Rings music in it.
A lot of these songs are very Lord of the Rings vibes.
The part where it just goes dun 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 dun.
Yeah, it really. No, I know it. Yeah, I know. That's.
I don't know when the first Lord of the Rings movie came out. I'm not saying that it's aping it or taking it on purpose, but it just evokes that to me, and it works in that way because that's exactly what the Lord of the Rings theme is. Fantasy, triumphant, this very exuberant piece, which I love. I love that it does this, it kind of undercuts the player in that way. I also like the way the song ends, where it just goes dun 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 dun. It loops in the game, but in the soundtrack, it just finishes like that. It
just stops. It's just like, whoa, okay.
It has this very clear, there are moments in the song that it pulls back the brightness a little bit and brings in some more, dissonance or minor key bits. But then at the end, it's undeniably like, yay, you did it.
Yeah, wee, wahoo.
So this is the song that whenever I think of the music of Shadow of the Colossus, I always think of this one, just because this is also maybe because when I played this game as a young child, when it came out, I was probably not able to get much farther than 4 or 5 in before I had to stop and look up walkthroughs, or gave the game up entirely. It wasn't until much later that I actually, beat the whole game. But I don't know. It's just one of those songs that really sticks in your brain, I think.
No, I'm with you. That this is like the Shadow of the Colossus song to me.
Which is really funny because of how not fitting it is for the rest of the game.
Yeah, well, it's you see, Jordan, it's a juxtaposition.
That's very sorry. What do you got? What do you got next?
Let me tell you about... It's funny that you mentioned Lord of the Rings, because my next pick is also very well could be part of the Lord of the Rings soundtrack. And again, also going back to my previous pick, it's also could be part of Zelda soundtrack. This is one of maybe the most toned down boss theme. Mm-hmm. It's called Silence.
Silence.
This one plays when you fight the bird, when you fight the eel, my favorite one, and when you fight Rayquaza, Phalanx, the one that does literally nothing to fight back. And you start out, you get this very nice, sad string coming in. Just like, it's a very sparse track, but you get this like sort of not quite call and response, but like an echo being played differently, where it's just like da 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 da. A lot slower than that, obviously, but It kind of just like gets more sinister as it goes on. In like you get these like sort of like it sounds like the Jaws theme but backwards, like da 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 da. It feels very like I think this might be at the point, because you hear this the first and the fifth Colossus, so you're starting to maybe question what you're doing and if what you're doing is good and cool. And of course we all know it is good and cool what you're doing.
So the three ones of this is the eel, the bird, and the flying snake, right? So these are the ones that, the bird and the eel do damage you, but what you're really doing is kind of waiting for them, kind of patiently waiting for your chance to get, because the bird is in the sky.
Yeah, the bird has to fly down to get you when you hit it with an arrow.
So I like the idea, these are you're kind of patiently waiting as you watch and observe. And these creatures move very majestically, either through the air or through the water. I kind of like how it crescendos near the end as well, but it always pulls it back. I think it's very reserved.
It's very restricted in a way.
It doesn't, and I do actually. It's so hard to not want to talk about the songs that follow when you get on, but the ones for this one, the one that follows this one is really, really cool, and it works really well to kind of pair with this song.
Yeah, it's like you sort of take all that reticence and restriction and turns into like this, very bombastic, very hoo ha.
Yeah.
It's good. Like the music, I think we're constantly saying this is a perfect game, but I feel like more so than most games, the music in this game feels so tailor made to like not only the game but like the themes of the game too, in such a very cool and sort of palpable way.
I just think it works really well. There are Colossi that share tracks.
Yes.
But the tracks they share work really well for them. So some of them have their own unique music, and then some of them, that have similar kind of fighting concepts or something along those lines. The ones that are maybe a little more aggressive, or these ones that are very passive and only either, don't even acknowledge Wander, or vaguely just if you get in the right place, they'll take a few swipes at you. But otherwise, they're just kind of minding their own business in a way. Yeah. So to have this be like, especially, I think very strongly of this one. I think of the eel just kind of lurking in the water, in the lake. Very cool. And also, I want to say very quickly, the arenas in this game.
Oh my gosh, it's so sick.
They are. Obviously, they're purpose built for each Colossi. So there's 16 of them. They're all almost always integrated into the actual fight itself. But even just like taking a moment when you really try to appreciate the scale of some of these areas, even if there's nothing in them, like the lake or the like big city, or the cave that the big giant boy lives in, those are just so big, and I like them.
It has that feeling of agoraphobia almost.
Yeah, like oh my god, the lake one gave me so much anxiety of just like how deep that water is. It's just
you can't see the bottom there.
The scale. I don't even know. I've always been curious about just how big the map of this game actually is. Also, the 17th Colossus, Susie the cat is here, but I will not slay this one. I will
not a very big one, but a very quick one.
Yeah, very fast one. Very sharp. Yeah, I don't know. I think this game does a lot with its space and with its empty space as well.
Yes. Yeah.
I know that's like a cop out kind of in 2021 times to be like, I love this game because it's got a big empty map. Hi, Susie. Oh, she's bumping into the microphone. It's time for her to
let her speak.
So yeah, that's just a lot of empty space, a lot of nothingness in a way that serves the world.
Absolutely.
And the game is bigger than it needs to be. No, it's exactly as big as it needs to be.
No, yeah, it's the size is the point of it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's just a lot of nothing, which is really good. I have something that is going to completely change gears for the music. This is a very different Colossus fight. It is the final Colossus fight.
Okay.
It is the kind of themes of the game coming in and really tackling the player through the music. It is the final Colossus known by the fans as Malice, and the song is called Demise of the Ritual. Same slap. All right. So where most of the tracks in this game have a lot of energy to them, very grand. This one is really cool. I love the way that the whole song is just accompanied by these plodding, steady quarter notes played on what I believe is a cello.
That sounds right.
Once again, this is where it really picks up the idea of this kind of like sacred music. Lots of chimes and choral notes, woodwind sounds. It's very sectional. Like it stops and starts a lot, which I like. This Colossus is very much feels like the final boss. It's the biggest one.
Yes.
It attacks you with fireballs.
It like hurls fireballs at you. Like it attacks you in a very video game way.
It's raining when you fight it, I think. Like maybe
yes.
Even
Oh
thunder.
yeah. No. It's like this a dark and stormy night. And what's so cool about it is that for a lot of the battles, I mean, we've been saying that the arenas are built into the fight. But Malice does not move. He's just this big dude whose lower half is basically all stone. He can't really go anywhere. So all he can do is zap you with fireballs. So the arena that he's in is basically you have to find cover as you're running up to him and go down hallways and stuff and tunnels. It's a very different way to sort of turn that on their head, where it's the entire arena is kind of the fight because you're actively trying to hide from him as you get close to it's just again it's the best game ever made.
It really is. I love every time the music here picks up, it just always backs off right away, and there's these parts where it just completely grinds to a halt, and then it will pick it way back up for just a second and really lead into the sort of sinisterness or the malice of it. But then it always just pulls it right back, and I love the restraint of it.
Yeah.
And especially for this is final boss fight music. This is the last boss in the game, in a game that is only boss fights. This is the last one, and this is what you get is this very somber, sacred. It feels like something that would play in one of those freaky Catholic masses that I'm sure you've been to before.
Oh yeah, no, you're pretty much on the money, Jordan.
I don't know. I love that. I love that about this game. I like that it's literally called Demise of the Ritual. Works really well. It's just a great choice. I love all the bells and the organ that plays as well.
Yeah.
You are fully aware of the things that you were doing by now, more or less.
Very funny that the fan-made name is Malice. It's like, no. The Colossus is not the bad, evil named thing. I'm pretty sure it's you, homie.
Yeah, I think it's the player. I'll say, by the way, for anyone who is gonna be like, well, a game where the player is bad. A game where the player is the villain? Well, actually,
Spec Ops the Line.
Spec Ops the Line, The Last of Us. I played all of the. I'm sure that all of our listeners,
they're all normal and good.
All of our listeners are fucking aware that this game came out in 2005, and not many games did anything like this for the most part before this. I don't think, and even still, the way that the game does it is so effective, and just those subtle things. It doesn't really ever draw attention to the way that the player character, that Wander, is physically changing throughout the game. It's just something you notice. You just
turn into a White Walker.
You turn into your skin goes all ashen and gray and pallid, and you grow little horns and stuff. And it's very nice. I really like it. But even still, you still got Horsey Friend. Agro. Just a great video game. Max, why don't you round it off on the number 6?
6th final pick. I'm gonna bring a song, Jordan, that doesn't play during you fight Colossus.
Ooh.
It plays after you fight one of them.
Ah.
And it also plays during the credits.
Ooh.
I'm gonna bring a song called... It's funny that we're talking about sacred music. This song's called Prayer.
Prayer.
This one really sticks out in the game because it is piano-led. I don't believe any other soundtracks in this game have this very strong piano lead to it. You can hear piano in a lot of the songs, but this is like a piano piece, right? Like, it plays after you beat Kuramori, our little friend, our little Colosseum guy, and it plays during the ending cutscene over the credits.
Yeah.
And it's just very sad and somber, like... But it also doesn't... It feels like ethereal in a way, just because it's music.
Do you know why? Hey Max, do you know why it plays after? Do you know why it plays after Kuramori?
Why does it play after Kuramori?
That's the halfway point. That's Colossus number 8.
That's true. 8 out of 16. That's how the math work. Yeah, it's very, very cool. I'm such a sucker for when soundtracks do that, where it's like you can tell it's part of the game, but where it just sounds that different, where it kind of throws you for a loop because it wasn't what you're expecting.
What I think of when I think of, like, music that really turns it, goes piano heavy, I always think of Midna's Lament, which I'm sure we'll talk about on this show one time. Oh yeah. It's very different, but it also fits in so well. It's very beautiful, this piece. And I think that this is, I think that the moment this plays in the game is probably, Wander, like, looking at the young woman being like...
This might be when your horse goes to look at her, too.
Oh, that could be it. It's hard to say. I always love just, like, the visual language of this game. Just, like, the little things. I think the visual of, like, the woman, like, lying on the thing, she's in the sunlight, there's all those birds around, which I think you can actually grab onto, which is kind of funny.
Grab onto. In the PlayStation 4 remake, there's trophies for grabbing onto all the different animals you're able to. It's very silly.
but I like, I just like the way the game communicates to the player, I guess. And kind of going on ideas that are found in other stories, just to use it very effectively to tell this story with very few words. There are maybe 2 to 3 cutscenes where a character is talking besides Dorman, who is, just a faceless, bodiless voice.
Yeah,
so
just a guy.
The way that, the game is very much just communicating to you through images and symbols and that good stuff. I really like that.
Yeah.
Maybe this is less of a game than it is a work of art. I heard, according to
can video games be art?
According to Wikipedia, this was cited as one of the earliest examples of people saying that games are art. Which,
oh my god, go to hell.
I don't. I guess my whole thing with games as art is like, why is this a conversation that we're having? To me,
yeah, I have such a like not low base definition of art, but like art is something you make. Like, it doesn't need to be profound for it to be art, you know?
Yeah, I guess the whole point for me is like when you're looking at a piece of media and so many people just have to like point and clarify it, it just becomes really annoying. Like, it's something that doesn't really even need to be said. That like, oh, whatever. But I don't know. It just bothers me. Maybe it's just because of the people who say it. That it just makes me turn my nose up at it so bad of like, well, yeah, but like, you don't need to post about video games or art, and also feminism is ruining video games.
Oh god.
Anyways.
Yeah.
So here we've got 6 great songs, but let's do some honorable mentions, shall we, Max?
I'd love to, Jordan. What do you got?
I have one that I believe is the most frequently played song in the game. Is that song that plays 16 times, potentially. I don't know if it plays the last time. It is called The End of Battles. I like this one because I think it kind of puts the player through a whole emotional arc let me just say, the way that the fights end is so good, and I love.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's very consistent. It doesn't change. The last blow you get slows the game down. The music cuts off. It goes very slow as you plunge it in. Then you get a wide shot of the Colossus falling over as the music plays. You get a few seconds to walk around as you see the Colossus lying dead on the ground, and then big black tentacles just like plunge into the character.
Freaks you out the first time.
Very much does. I always run away from the tentacles to see how like far they'll travel for you. And then you wake up back in the temple. I like the End of Battles because it, first it has this very like somber, like the monster falls, and then you get this kind of lighter end of it just briefly as it kind of lets you feel kind of relieved and breathe a little bit as you finish the fight. And then it goes into more like, what have you done? You killed this cool monster. Why'd you do that? Was it worth it? Those kind of feelings, I think.
Yeah, you monster.
It briefly resolves to a major chord as well. So
yeah.
I don't know. It lets you. It puts you through it when you hear
the 5 stages of grief every time you kill one of these big beautiful beasts.
Yeah. And then I'll also bring just to save you on editing. I want to talk about Gatekeeper of the Castle Ruins. This is the one that the second to last Colossus plays. Just when I want to talk,
that guy.
I just want to talk about music that's very Godzilla-y. The horns in this one that are kind of providing the backbone of the song. They do this like na 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 na.
Yeah, no, exactly.
That is so I think of that. I close my eyes and I see like Godzilla stomping around in like Shin Godzilla or something. It is really good. It also has a lot of bells in it. Which you know me, I love bells.
Oh, bells are great.
Bells, it's just great.
Bells.
It's just a good track. Other ones that I was gonna bring, but I'm not gonna ask you to play them. Just the Opened Way. That's the other one that I think everyone thinks of when they hear Shadow of the Colossus music. That's the first one, the first mounting Colossus song, and then A Messenger from Behind, which is the dirge, creepy eyeball snake music, which I think leans a bit more into horror music than the rest of them do. It's a lot creepier. Good shit. Love it. What do you got?
I got an honorable mention. Actually, it is the song that plays before you hear the very cool, very triumphant revived power. It's called A Violent Encounter.
Ah.
Yeah, so this is the one before you mount the funny cow and the other monsters, the other colossi that have this song. It's just very cool, like you get like that cool sort of like string arpeggio that's like and this is another one of those ones. I think because it leads into Revive Power that I sort of like conflate the tracks in my mind and like play them one after
they
another
connect
in my
a
head
lot because they connect in the game.
Again, everything's deliberate about this game, even the music, especially the music, really. And it is that same sort of thing where it's like, it is this very intense battle track, but it doesn't really feel like violent or hopeless despite any violent encounter. It still feels largely triumphant because it's still early on when you first hear it, where you don't realize, are we the baddies? I don't know. I quite like it. I like it. It does the sort of like flute trills I love, like the. I can't make that noise in my mouth.
Yeah, no.
I think my Rona juice is definitely getting in my brain now. So I don't know. I really like it. It's just a very fun battle track, and it feels weird saying a fun battle track in a game where you should not be having fun.
No.
But it's also the best game ever made. So who can possibly say one way or another?
So the way that it works in this game, I think, is very clever. The way that the music transitions, because I believe the way it works in all the fights is that obviously the music is tailor designed to pair with whatever it's going to transition into once you actually get on the monster. Though I think that technical limitations of the time probably had something to do with this. You couldn't create it so it transitions the second that you get on, it figures out how to,
how
make
to
it
go
work
for like another measure or whatever.
So it just it just stops for like a beat, just for a second, and then it plays the track. So there's just this one moment of silence as you finally get on the monster, and it is really just so you can transition between the two pieces of music, but it really works because it lets that kind of excitement hang up in the air. So you go from the one track, and then you get on, and then it goes. Da, 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 da. I really like that. It works. It's very effective, even if it's just something to simplify and make the transitions between the two music less jarring. It feels very deliberate to me, which I like a lot. It's very good.
Great.
It works really
It's
well.
good. It's very, very good.
We talk a lot. We love adaptive soundtracks, and we like when games can cleverly transition music. But sometimes you just need a moment of silence, and then you play the next song, and it works just as effectively. Just good shit. We gotta pick the best one now, Max.
We do gotta pick the best one.
So I brought Liberated Guardian, Revive Power, and Demise of the Ritual. You brought...
I got Prologue, Silence, and Prayer.
All right. I think I know which one I like the most.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Let's go 3, 2, 1. Demise of the Ritual.
Revived Power.
Ooh, all right. So we got something classic versus something a little odd, something different. Make your case to me.
Okay, this is very personal, and it's not necessarily a case for Revive Power as much as it is a case against Demise of the Ritual. But when I was in like high school, I would watch a lot of those like sort of like back when like like the top 10 gaming YouTuber things were like starting out. And there was one I would always watch, and he would always use that the da 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 from Demise of the Ritual for every single number. So now I can't hear that without thinking of just like weird, cringy
number 10
late 2000s era YouTubers. So I think both are very, very good songs, but I don't know. I think to me, Shadow of the Colossus works best when it is at that point when you haven't really realized what's going on, when you think you're having fun, then looking back, you're like, oh no, oh fuck, I've done that. Oh no, beans.
See, this is the thing, right? Because Revive Power is what the game wants you to think it is. And then Demise of the Ritual is more closely tied to what the game is kind of actually going for. So that's the question. The game, I think the Revive Power is much closer to the tone. But then I love the arrangement of Demise of the Ritual. I just love the way the song is structured. But if Peanut Butter Gamer is going to ruin your,
God,
I'm not. That's not who it is. I'm just trying to.
No, it definitely wasn't Peanut Butter Gamer, but it was certainly no one I engage with anymore. I still am willing. I'm still willing to go on your side of the fence.
I don't know. I'm hung up on this one because for me. I'm always resistant to pick the obvious one. The one that's like really, fucking Ocarina of Time, or Undertale Megalovania. No, stop. Yeah. I don't want to do that. I don't want to, but that's, they're also good is the thing. Like I don't feel like we're letting anyone down by picking Revive Power, because it's a really fucking good song. But I don't know. What do you think? You think we go for the obvious one, or you think we go something a little weirder? Well, something a little more.
Well, if we're looking back at, when in doubt, we look at our pattern and see if we can break that pattern. Because we
do usually go off the beaten path for these things, don't we?
Yeah, usually, because like we went Hollow Bastion, which when we did Kingdom Hearts, and that wasn't. I feel like that's sort of both weird and it's like the most expected of the weirder picks, I guess.
Yeah.
For Portal 2, we went Karamiya Audio, which is definitely like more of a left field.
Left field,
because
you probably would have picked Want You Gone.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I want to think of this on a meta level because 16 Colossi, 16. We'll be doing 16 song brackets eventually. So I don't know. What do you think? Who do you want to be in the bracket?
I think
I'm totally happy with both. I'm going to let you decide this one. This is up to you.
Okay, great. No, I think okay. If that's what's gonna settle it, I think Demise of the Ritual probably has a better chance to make it forward.
All right.
Because it's I don't know, there's something very, like, again, I'm not saying I don't like the song. I'm saying that my personal connotation is like, ugh, fucking Rabid Luigi. I think that's who it was.
What an odd choice of music, by the way, for a video game top 10 list.
I
Something
know.
That's like this very dark, like this final, it really does. I love unconventional final boss music, and to call this fight like the final boss is kind of undercuts it a bit. It's not really how the game is, but it is kind of the emotional climax of the game. It's the last one of 16.
Yes.
And the fact that the music is this very subdued, very somber. I love that about it.
I think that's what we're going with.
We cool
here.
with Demise of the Ritual? All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good
Hell
to me.
Yeah. Good work.
Revive. I'll say Revive Power is incredibly good. Open Way, also incredibly good. I didn't include it because it's just not the one that I connected with. I think they're very similar music in just the emotions of it, right? The first two Colossi, what plays when you get up on them. I like Demise of the Ritual, though. I'm happy with that pick.
Yeah.
Probably some people who are screaming at us right now.
Yeah, but we're always right.
Yeah, we're always right.
Say.
I like an unconventional final boss fight theme.
Yeah, me too.
Well, let's check in with our Twitter. I'm sure we got some good entergagement this week. We have a Twitter at slappersonlypod.com. Wait, no, that's not it. We're slappersonlypod on Twitter. No, there's no .com here. But we have one question this week from friend of the show, Nero Wyvern, #1 Edelgard stan on Twitter, who says, "This is one of my favorite games of all time. There's nothing else like it out there. Which Colossus is your favorite fight? Which is your favorite design? Favorite fight, favorite design."
I mean, favorite design is the eel.
The eel is so cool. I really like just conceptually the fight against the fan named Barbas, the one that is very deliberately intelligent. I like that it kind of has these two phases. First, you have to run away from it. Then you have to hide and jump up on its beard because it's smarter than the other ones are. It looks into the thing and you got to jump on. I like that gimmick. Favorite design, still, I think it's the knight, the one with the big sword. I love that one. I love its armor. I like how tall it is. I like that you have to climb up its big sword. That's just good shit.
Yeah, I think favorite fight. You know what it might be? I really like the fight against Zenobia, the 14th Colossus, the like nasty boar that like is super, super aggro the entire time. So what you have to do is you have to keep on like jumping and climbing up the pillars that it knocks down to allow you to reach different pillars, and eventually you're able to like collapse part of the ruins onto it and like break its armor on its back, then you can stab it. So it's like, it's the smallest one, and it is like by far the most aggressive Colossus you fight, and I really like that fight, how dynamic it is, how it feels very frantic, because like if it hits you. Like it's a tough monster. So
how do you feel about the one that's like you gotta steer it by like whacking its head?
Oh, that fight, that is my least favorite fight in the game.
I don't
Fuck
like that
thing.
One. I don't get what
that is Celosia.
Yeah.
Absolute wretched creature.
Pelagia, they call it. Number 12.
Pelagia, that's right. Pelagia. Fuck that thing. I hate that fight so much.
It's not great. I've never
It does not work well. It has like teeth on its head too. That's what you're hitting, which I don't like.
Hitting those big teeth. It's nasty.
Ugh.
I wanted to talk about one other thing before, because we still have we got time, and we only had one question this week. Is how do you feel about the remake of this game?
Good.
It's good.
I don't have any problems with it. So I know that some people, I believe Nero posted while we were in one of the Discords we're in, and they were talking about how they didn't like how the remake messed with the atmosphere of the game. And I understand that's valid. And like I absolutely understand where people are coming from when they make that complaint. But like, I don't know. I just like that it looks pretty. I like that.
I think that I like the way it looks. That's it. I don't think it's a replacement for the original game.
No, they exist like together yet separate. Like, because the original has that very specific like PS2 graphical vibe that the original, that the remake kind of loses to make it this like not photorealism. I guess the entire world is photorealism, and the Colossi are like more realistic, but they're still, you can tell they're like sort of goofy creatures. I don't know. I just appreciate like how much of an effort they put in to make the game look fucking gorgeous. Because
what team is that?
Oh my god, Jordan, yeah. I love photo mode in that game.
I know.
I still boot it up every once in a while to snap photos.
Like, as a PS2 lover myself, nothing can compare to that kind of muddy, like interlaced kind of look at PS2 games. I think that this game was deliberately designed to just look fucking great on the PS2. You know, it just looks really good. Even though it's such an old game. I think that the remake, it really honestly, it's just too pretty to hate. I mean, why would I hate it? It's a remake of one of my favorite games ever. But the idea of someone like seeing it and being like, this goes against the creative vision of the original game or whatever. It just doesn't feel. I just think it. And also, what I'll also say about the remake is that it added in content in the form of these little like kind of Easter eggs and treasure hunts of a sort that are what I believe, if I remember correctly, are kind of, and the intent was to conclude what was a decades old, or at least like 15-year-old mystery that fans had been arguing about on fan forums, that there was these things that they thought were in the game world that probably weren't. They weren't in the game world, but like the studio who made this then took those ideas and did actually add in these extra levels of, find these special things.
Yeah, get the cool coins and you get a fun sword.
And you get the sword, and you can climb up that one really tall wall and find the garden. And I love those details. Once again, I don't think it replaces the original game as much as if you are not able to play it in its original state, or you like it and you want to see it in a new way. That's what I think this is for. And I like that. I like when people can access games that they wouldn't be able to play.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's good.
Like, I think best case is that there would be a mode in the PS4 that makes it look and play like the PS2
yeah,
version.
But, I like when games have that.
That's not
option.
always reasonable.
What do you think is the worst remake of a game?
Oh my god!
Is there any remakes that like actually kind of upset you?
It's oh god, not to be that guy, but what kind of comes to mind is just, and it's not even out yet, Jordan. But I look at the Diamond and Pearl remakes, and I'm like, not like this.
See, I don't have a skin in that game.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I can't think of a specific example, but I think on paper the worst kind of remake is a remake that all it does is maybe make it look nicer, or like the worst thing a remake can do is stay so faithful to a fault of the original that it doesn't add anything beneficial that other games would have done by now. Like basically like a remake that doesn't do what it can to make the game like better with a modern lens, I guess, which is a very sort of weird nebulous description, but because like in my head,
I think you have a couple options when you remake it, because what you could do is there's games that are just old games that are ported, right?
Yep.
Or there's old games that are HD remasters, so the graphics are left the same, but
different lighting effects,
like Yakuza, the Yakuza remasters, they're fine.
Yeah.
And they're good. That's basically just effectively a port in its own way. Like it's just putting the game in mostly its same state on newer hardware in a way that it can play and look nicer on newer TVs, right? Then there's the ones that are aiming to kind of update the game. Final Fantasy VII Remake, I think of.
Oh,
or,
yeah.
or even what about one? Sorry, let me. I think between that is the Shadow of the Colossus remake or the Demon Souls remake, right, where they are updating the graphics heavily, but trying to preserve the game or preserve the spirit of the game when it came out. So they'll maybe make tweaks here and there to kind of update it for modern sensibilities. I think Demon Souls, something like it let you roll in more directions than was originally available, which, you know, I think as a person who likes the Souls series but has never played Demon Souls and probably won't play that one because I'm not going to get a PS5, I like that. I like that it changes that in that way. Shadow of the Colossus, I think, made a couple accessibility changes, added a few extra little bits, made it look really nice. And then there's things like Yakuza Kiwami 2 or Final Fantasy VII Remake, which are like, you know, from the ground up rebuilds, changing the game.
New games, basically.
New games that are following the story to some degree.
I wouldn't even call Final Fantasy VII Remake a remake. That's a new game.
It's a new game.
That's a sequel to Final Fantasy VII.
So I guess, yeah, in that vein, I don't know where the Diamond and Pearl remake falls because I haven't really seen much of it. It does seem to me that, like, you're just kind of denying people what they really wanted out of it. I don't know. Pokemon fans are very hard to please. I don't consider
Pokemon's a can of worms. I shouldn't even
They
brought
shouldn't
it up.
bring a Pokemon. I don't know what my least favorite remake is. Usually I think they do okay at remaking games. You know what it is? All right, okay, I'm sorry. Yakuza Kiwami aims to update a game that was not that great to begin with and adds ideas that only make the game worse. Kiwami 2, on the other hand, I quite like, but Yakuza Kiwami is kind of a slog. And as a follow-up to Zero, also, which it very much aims to be that, like, kind of make the original Yakuza a sequel to Zero, which it kind of makes Zero worse in that way, because you play Zero and you know what comes after it, and that's not the fault of Zero or the fault of the original Yakuza, but it is kind of the fault of Kiwami, and that's how I feel about it. So there you go. That's another fun question we've squared away.
Yeah, good.
Worst game remake. I should say Kiwami is not a bad game. It's just not a
It just could be better as a remake.
It could be better as a remake, and it kind of messes with how good Yakuza 0 is somehow, which is weird. That's it for this week. God, I love talking about Shadow of the Colossus.
Best game ever made.
We should talk about Last Guardian. Have you played that game?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Do you like it?
I do like it.
I like it a lot.
I like my big weird dog.
I like Last Guardian a lot. I didn't get the hate behind it, but that's just me.
Rico, I think it was because, like, I wasn't the people who was fervently waiting for that game for years, so I just got it and I say, hey, fun game.
But the thing about that game was, like, people were waiting for it for so many years, and then it came out and they said, this plays like a PS2 game. I'm like,
it's like, yeah bad news for you, buddy.
It is a PS2 game. What is your, like, if it didn't play like this, it wouldn't be the same game. It would be a
different game.
It would be a different game, and, like,
gamers are never happy.
Sorry, if the dog listens to you every time that it doesn't,
then it's not a dog.
It loses its impact. Do
you have a real pet? Yeah. Like,
I don't know.
Anyway,
people sacrifice. You gotta, like, if you're trying to tell a story, and you need to sacrifice fun, or, like, not fun, but, like, you know, responsive, whatever. I don't know. I think it's good. I like The Last Guardian.
No one's ever happy.
No one's ever really. Gamers can never be happy ever.
Mm-hmm. Just don't play games.
Just don't play video games. Honestly, the moral of this podcast, this is that last episode of Slappers Only, is don't play video games. Throw your consoles in the trash and just go outside and go for a bike ride.
Yeah, touch some grass.
Yeah, Shadow of the Colossus is our last episode. Okay, just kidding. What if this was me springing this on you?
I don't know. I'd be like, well, we had a good run.
Yeah, whatever. Shadow of the Colossus is not a bad place to end it. Okay, we're not ending it. Speaking of which,
can't think of many better places.
What are we gonna do next?
You said we.
Well, this is we. We'll be doing this together. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. True. Now,
I don't know why you would act like I'm not going to be participating in whatever you bring.
That's true.
What do you got?
Now, Jordan, if there's one thing I know about you, is that you famously hate JRPGs.
I'm not... Don't say hate. I get in trouble for
You don't enjoy JRPGs.
I don't enjoy them, personally. They're not my cup of tea. And there's some... there's some that I do like. There's some that I like. What do you...
Yeah, nobody at Jordan for that. It's okay. He's valid. I want to talk about a game that came out very recently. A game that I was spouting nonstop about when it came out.
Oh, Yakuza 7?
No, little more recently than that.
Oh, okay.
And I think I want to call in a special friend to help us out with this one.
All right,
special guest. So just because it might be useful for us three to have a nice civilized discussion, and it'll be fun. It'll be maybe 2 against 1 in this case. But Jordan, next episode we are going to be joined by our friend and artist of hit indie game Paradise Killer Gigalithic. And we're going to be talking about Square Enix's very own Bravely Default 2.
I've never genuinely don't know anything about this game or the last game. But one thing I do know is that JRPGs typically have quite good music, and I will respect the decision of you as my co-host to bring a game that you believe has good music. And I'm sure Gigalithic and you and I will have a great discussion about.
Yes.
I almost said Baldur's Gate 2. That is not what the game... I already forgot.
Baldur's Default 2.
Bravely Baldur's Default 2 or Bravely Gate 2. Baldur's Gate 2. We'll have a great discussion about Baldur's Gate 2, also known in the West as Bravely Default 2. Published by Square Enix. Sounds fun.
Yeah, it'll be great. It'll be fun.
Am I going to have to play this, Max?
It only took you about 80 hours to finish
80
it,
hours?
so you have time.
That's less than a Persona 5. I think I could beat that by 2 weeks from now.
It'll be fine.
Oh, 1 week from now, because we're recording this, recording. Okay. Yeah, Shadow of the Claw. Yeah, all right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
Cool.
Okay. All right. I'm sure it has good music.
It does. Revo. We love Revo.
Cool. All right. Well, that's it for this week. Thank you all very much for listening to another episode of Slappers Only as we talked at length about a very good game that everybody knows is good, which is a thing we try to avoid, but but this one's good.
Alas.
You can find all of our episodes at slappersonlypod.com. You can find us on Twitter at SlappersOnlyPod. You can find all of our episodes on the Noise Space Network, who is our host, noiespace.xyz. You can listen to, speaking of Gigalithic, you can listen to Gigalithic's podcast 0 to 0 as they finish up their coverage of the Snyder Cut. We all got in a big Discord call last night with Giga and Sam, who was in and out because he couldn't be bothered. And we all watched the Snyder Cut together, and boy, Max, boy, oh boy, that sure is a movie. We had some fun. It's 4 hours long. It's quite a movie. Listen to their coverage, please. Those episodes are very fun. And they will teach you a lot about cinema, which is really what matters in life. I hate video games, Max. I love cinema.
Yeah, this movie should be taught in every film studies class.
Exactly. Steppenwolf should teach my film studies class.
Good. I want to see him in real life. I want to see his agreeables.
Hey, Max, you can listen to Kyle XY, a show that I do about Kyle XY, the hit ABC cult classic that got canceled after 3 seasons, despicably.
Very, very
You
sad.
can listen to Kamurocho Radio, new episode out the day we're recording about the Omi Invasion, chapter 9 of Yakuza 2, which is very good. Very fun. Love that game, except for the xenophobia.
Alas.
Tell me about and speaking of Argyle, I've heard that you got a new temporary co-host on Waku Robot.
That's true. So you can find me personally on Twitter, Maxi Bajillion, and I have other shows. I have Pod Agreed, which I host with Argyle. It's the world's #1 and only Yu-Gi-Oh podcast sponsored by Kaiba Corp. That's on Twitter at Pod Agreed Cast. We are at the end of season 1 of GX. Like, our next episode is the season finale, which is going to be great. And also, for this new season of Waku Robot, we are watching G Gundam, Mobile Fighter G Gundam. There's no more war. They're just fighting. It's just like a super robot show about martial arts, and every country gets their own Gundam, and they kind of go off. And that is with Argyle and Audrey, hosts of Pod Agreed. We are having a wonderful, wonderful time. It is a batshit show, but it's a very fun show, and it's nice to watch something that doesn't require as much critical thinking as the other Gundam series, which is greatly appreciated.
I like that Gundam is sometimes willing to just be silly.
Oh, yeah. Is
that preserving the original? Is the original intent of the creator?
They basically
I don't know anything about Gundam. I should say.
No, it's funny. The Gundam creator fucking sucks. Everyone hates him.
I believe it. I know.
Yeah,
I know he hates that they're building a big robot in Japan.
Oh god, I want to see that robot so bad. Cool Gundam.
Good.
Anyway,
stuff,
that's what I got.
Other good podcasts on Noisebase. I recommend Nanoro's Nightmare Era. Check out Sonic Shuffle. Check out also check out Fear Baiting. Check out Element OP about Elementary, the Sherlock series that doesn't star any horrible British people, as far as I can tell.
County Girls Make Do.
County Girls Make Do about the OC, the original character. All great shows, so check them out. We will be... thank you all very much for listening. I think it's time to wrap this up as I plunge my sword deep into the glowing sigil on Audacity's pause button to end the recording. We'll be back in 2 weeks from now with Bravely Baldur's Gate 2.
Baldur's Default 2.
Bravely Default 2. I can't wait to play that game. I'm going to absolutely play that game, Max. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to play it by next Saturday-ish when we have Giga on. It'll be very fun. We'll see you next week. And as always, what do we say? I almost said Kiwami means extreme. That's not what we say. Kylix bye.
Ask not for whom the track slaps.
It slaps for thee.
Bye-bye. I don't really think anything bye related for Shadow of the Colossus, so this is all you get.
Sorry. We're going to leave behind a little baby in your podcast
no, I'm baby.
at the end.
Wah.